Hi Ruud, Happy New Year.
Hi, Happy New Year.
Well, the new year brings the January transfer window. In the time you've had here, have you had the time to establish your key targets? And would you say you're aligned with the club in terms of who you can bring in and the kind of business you can do?
Yeah, so when I came in first here, we assessed the current squad, and I wanted to see in the December month, of course, how is it to be working with this squad and get to know the players and the positions, and then look ahead in the window, the January window. What can we do? What positions and what is possible for the club to do? And we're aligned with that right from the start of the first conversations before I signed, and also right through the December month, and now looking into the window, and we are clear on looking at certain options, and when the options are right for us to strengthen and help the team, then we're able to do something.
What are the key positions you've got to target?
Yeah, of course, these conversations are important, and the December month gave a clear view for me on what positions the team needs help and improvement. Also in you can also look at injuries, what we have and how long they are still out for. That's also a part of where do we want to strengthen. But of course, it's important to keep that behind closed doors, because we don't want to, weaken ourselves in our position to do the business.
In terms of outgoings, what's the situation with Odsonne Edouard? Will he be returning to Crystal Palace?
No, Odsonne is part of our squad. He will be part of the squad. He's one of the two loans in the Premier League loans we have with Facundo Buonanotte and Odsonne as well. He's the second one, and we expect them to be at the club.
Manchester United have said that they've got to see outgoings before they can make signings. Given your contacts at the club, would you be looking at any of their players? Could you use your contacts with them?
Yeah, of course. I'm looking at my network. Of course, having been played in a couple of countries and more clubs, and it's important to use my network as well in opportunities to strengthen the squad, and we're looking at all possibilities to help this team reach their targets. So yeah, all we're looking everywhere.
In terms of your current squad, how is it looking? Any changes from the squad you had available against Manchester City?
Yeah, we're looking to have Jordan Ayew back after suspension. Wout Vaes has been training individually so far, but he will be part of team training from today onwards. So have a look how we will continue his progress. So these two, I think we can add to the team, hopefully.
Mats Amundsen, how's he doing in terms of his recovery? Will he be available?
Mats won't be available. He has been assessed over the last week. He's in his rehab program. We want him to be well, 100% fit before he comes back on the pitch. So not a clear picture yet of how long it will be, but he'll be out for a couple of weeks at least.
And just in terms of that game against Manchester City, Pep Guardiola had some really positive things to say about your performance afterwards. Did you see some really positive things that you've brought into this week and can take into this game against Villa?
Yeah, sure. I think the performance on its own was very good. I mean, the way we showed ourselves on and off the ball. For me, it was also a big indicator was the reaction of the crowd. Of course, it says something how a team performs. Crowd got excited, supported the team. Also after the 1-0 of Savinho, they were straight behind the players and everyone else. So that helped us. Also at halftime and after the game, there was a good connection with the crowd and the players. So that says something about the performance. And of course, what doesn't sit well with us all, that we didn't take anything from the game, points-wise, because we know we're in a situation where, of course, good performances will help you to to get results, but we have to make sure we're getting points as well from them.
What needs to change to start getting those points on the board again?
These performances, to maintain this level of performances, looking at the details in the two final thirds, of course, in taking the opportunities to score, and dealing with situations in your own third. I think the development is there, but of course against the bigger teams and in the Premier League, it needs to be spot on, and that's what we're focusing on at the moment.
Thank you. All the best.
Thank you too.
Cheers, guys. See you. Okay, we'll go to Premier League predictions. Easy.
Hi, Happy New Year. Good
Happy
seeing
New
you.
Year.
6 games since you joined Leicester City. What do you think you've learned about the group of players since you joined, and also what you've learned about yourselves?
Yeah, of course. When you join, like more or less a month and playing 6 games, very condensed schedule, training sessions, getting to know the players also on a personal level. You learn a lot about every individual, how they are, and how they train, how they play. So a lot. So that's why it was such an important month to assess the current squad and see where we think, and we're aligned with that with the club. That's very good, and we know what we want, and see if the right possibility comes up.
During your time at United, you managed twice against Leicester City. You managed to win twice. I can imagine you had a certain vision of the club before you joined. How is it in reality? Is it similar to what you thought it will be?
Yeah, the 2 games, of course, when you plan the games, you're looking at the squad and how they played and the players and the positions. Of course, when you're working with them, you get to know them a lot better on and off the pitch, and of course your amount of information increases, and you have a better assessment and a better knowledge of the players, which is vital. Of course, we're working together in the current staff with members that were also in the past, so they share a lot of information also from within the club. There's a lot of information to be shared, and everything together we have the right information to see where we can strengthen the team in the window coming.
Aston Villa this weekend. What did you make of their season so far? Their challenge of combining the Champions League and domestic challenge of the Premier League.
Yeah, they're doing an excellent job. I think Unai is a top coach. I followed him for many years, from his Villarreal times, Seville, now at Villa, and it's very clear what he wants from his team and how he has his team playing, and the success he also achieved with the different clubs he managed. So he's doing an excellent job with the players. There's quality there. There's some great players they've signed over the last years in combination with Monchi and Unai. So they really built Aston Villa up to a very good and stable club.
And this weekend they will miss some key players. John Duran, Morgan Rogers, both suspended. Pau Torres is unlikely to play with injury. Could that be an ideal time for you to face them?
Yeah, but of course Bailey will be back from injury. They've got Mings back, so they've got a squad with two top players per position. So they will still have a top team out there on Saturday. So it's for us to be prepared to face them.
Cheers. Okay, we'll go to Jack from BBC Radio Leicester.
Hi Ruud, hope you're okay. You mentioned a couple of players in terms of injury, but Casey McAteer, how's he getting on?
He's doing better. He's been individually training on the pitch, so far not with the team. Hopefully, from the reports, he can do partial team training from today onwards. So Saturday will be too soon. We're looking at then to get him back in full team training next week and see if he can make QPR.
And you mentioned that, I know you don't want to give away specific positions in terms of what you're targeting in January, but you did mention maybe to cover areas where there is injury. Can we take from that maybe that a winger with Abdul Fattawi being out for the season could be on your list of priorities?
Yeah, no, it's good that you will look at our squad and where the injuries are at the moment, and of course make your conclusions. And of course, we are internally we've made decisions on where we want to do it, and as I said, it's a part of where you look at, if you want to strengthen. The other one is, of course, when there's possibilities there that can strengthen, then we're looking at that as well. So I just wanted to share that the different views we have on assessing the squad, and this is one of them.
And you are obviously going to keep your cards close to your chest, as you mentioned, but how important is this transfer window for the football club, do you think, given financial situation in the past, but also just your position in the Premier League, how crucial it is to try and survive? How important is the next month for you?
Of course, it's important that if we think that there's opportunities on the market that can strengthen our squad, then it's a massive thing to do, and players that can help this team survive in the Premier League, and that's where we're looking at. But it has to be right, and so let's see what opportunities will come by, and if we can do business in January.
And you mentioned the busy schedule since you've come in. I know it's not quite a full week, but how are you actually enjoying having a bit of time with your players in the squad on the training pitch?
Yeah, we had over the course of the last 4 or 5 weeks, there were some moments that full weeks we could train. This was also one of them. Of course, having played so many games, also a recovery part was important for this week. But there were definitely, and today and tomorrow as well, good moments to work on specific things that we think that can help the team to improve. We've seen the improvement also against City. That especially on the ball, I think we did really well. And Liverpool away showed some good compact defending and being in a game for a result at Anfield. But in the end, these 2 games didn't bring any points. And that doesn't sit well, and we want to change that bit.
Yeah, how important is that against Aston Villa? You already talked about a good, strong side in Europe, doing well in the Champions League, but how important that you do turn the performance of the last couple of games into points?
It's vital, and we know that. I said from the beginning, also before the West Ham game, where it was the first game, that every game we plan is one to get a result, and how can we get a result? So we continue doing so. Of course, now going into the second half of the season, where 19 games to be played, it's clear where we are in the table, and performances combined with points can get us out of there. So that awareness is there, and we will continue to do so.
In slightly surreal circumstances in terms of you have lost 4 games in a row, but really positive signs in the last 2 games. I know the fan reaction we've had has been really positive about both Liverpool and Manchester City. But on the flip side of that, you've fallen into the relegation zone. Ipswich got a win in the week as well.
Yep.
So I'm just wondering actually what the mood has been like amongst the players.
Yeah, I can imagine that the performances give a certain trust and confidence, because deserved so. On the other hand, there's no points won. Of course, we also know it was at Anfield and at home against City, but we felt that especially against City at home, there was opportunities to collect points, and that's where the disappointment also sits, of course, and the frustration, and bringing that forward is obviously a big thing. Taking that on board and see where we can get points from, and that starts on Saturday.
Ruud, thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Thanks, Jack. We're to Charlie from BBC as well as today.
Hi, Ruud. Happy New Year.
Hi, Happy New Year.
As Jack was saying, just dropped into the relegation zone, second from bottom, but still only 3 points off of Everton in 16th. Can you give how you view the relegation fight and how tough it will be over the coming months?
Yeah, I had it very clear, and before I signed, that it will go right to the end of the season. So for me, there was my focus is on that, and I'm prepared with the team, game for game, until the end of the season that we know we have to make sure we're there where we want to be, and it's clear for me that we'll go right to the end. So in that sense, I'm not focused on, it's like, where are we now, but how can we develop and do better, and see where can we strengthen the team as well in January to be in a better position at the end of May, which is of course the finish line where we have to be where we want to be.
Is this current group, say you weren't able to strengthen this football, anything can happen, but say you weren't able to strengthen, is this current group good enough to survive the drop?
Yeah, you know, we're looking at possibilities to strengthen. Of course, it's a big thing to do, and we have to do it. But as I said before I signed, I think this squad has qualities if we have everyone on board. Of course, there were some setbacks with Mats being out, with Fatau being injured. But okay, you know, also that's part of football. But it's on us to prove that. And with the current squad, we go to Villa. We have to show ourselves and prove that we're all capable of being in this league and performing in that way. So, yeah, that would be my answer to that.
This is a bit of a long shot, this question, but Kieran Dewsbury Hall at Chelsea now, formerly of this parish, has been linked with a return here on loan. Is that an option that you've explored or will explore?
We're looking at all options, and we also know the 2 Premier League loans that we have at the moment, you can't have any more. So in that sense, yeah, you have to deal with the current situation. But we're looking at, as I said before, all possibilities to strengthen from my network and from the club's network. The good thing is that every day we're working together with John and with the scouts, with Martin and all the scouts, you know, looking at all the possibilities from anywhere. So and that process is going really well. So see what comes out of that.
Appreciate something.
Thank you.